What's good, you guys? It's Boomer and you're watching Bali Star. Today, we're just getting into Sunny V2, how one song ruined Gotye's life. Gotye. I never heard the verbal pronunciation of his name. So, yeah, how that song, somebody that I used to know, you didn't have to cut me off. Okay, let me cut myself off before I get too into it. Yeah, bruh. How this, I guess, you know what I'm saying? I've heard some things, you know what I'm saying? I'll say throughout the years that, like, he never made another song off of this because he put out this one viral song, and I guess that wasn't his style at all, but let's find out if that's really it. Alright, so yeah, let's get straight on into it. Let's go.
Song might have been clicked on over 2 billion times, but how somebody that I used to know impacted Gotye's life is much less widely known.
I also remember, bro, like, this song, like, became heavily popular amongst my peers, you know what I'm saying? And I say amongst my peers as, like, the black community, the black people that I hang around with, man, dude, they would love this song, man. Like, I never heard a white person's song be loved so much other than this song right here, bro. Be sang so much by, like, you know what I'm saying, my niggas and, you know what I'm saying, my sisters and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? The girls who I be hanging around. It's like, God damn, man. Not much niggas, more sisters. But, yeah, god damn, man. Like, I know this song's tight. I mean, it was tight to me, but I didn't know it was tight to y'all, too. That's crazy.
Used to know impacted Gotye's life is much less widely known.
I felt quite depressed a lot of times, and so that sort of started to really seep out into how the whole of my life was feeling.
We'll give a highly detailed description of how unexpected fame affected him, what role it played in his choice to quit music, and why Gotye's humble nature makes his fate extremely saddening. He simply didn't know the song would get so popular, which isn't surprising since his previous songs were even rejected by local radio.
People wouldn't consider playing my records on commercial radio stations.
Gotye therefore began uploading his music to YouTube,
English?
where he'd gained 250,000 views on his 3 most popular songs, and while this was still insufficient to make an impact globally,
I was disappointed when my last album, I couldn't find, say, a label to release it.
there was one single song that was about to change everything. Gotye had spent 6 months writing the world's most relatable breakup song, which he almost scrapped before its release, as he couldn't find
Honestly,
the
I didn't even know the lyrics to it until, like, I'll say 4 years, 5 years later, bruh. I honestly didn't care what I was talking about. I just sang it.
female singer.
It wasn't sounding amazing, and that was the final straw. I thought I had to let the song go. I thought, wow, I've been
Okay,
sort of
maybe
waiting
2
for 4
years.
months. It's
2
just
years.
not
I
coming
think I
together.
figured it out.
Thankfully,
It wasn't that
Gotye
hard
knew
to
the
figure
song
out.
had potential.
Well, I thought it was a strong song. It had an emotional sort of intensity to it.
Eventually using Kimbra, who was perfect for its music video, which was then leaked to the public, giving Gotye an unexpected advantage.
The video leaked in
Who's
Australia
Kimbra?
a week before it was meant to be released, and very quickly started, getting a lot of YouTube views.
As mentioned, the song racked up over 73,000 views before the week had even finished, aided by viewers who simply couldn't stop hitting replay. Yet again, I've listened to it non-stop all day, like I've done for the last 5 days. I've watched this video over 200 times in the past day, no joke. Honestly think I'm responsible for half of the views for this. Brilliant song, brilliant clip, confirming the music video had an influence on the song's instant explosion.
Most people say,
Oh,
they think the
you
video
think that
really
style, I
enhances
guess.
the delivery of a song, so a lot of people really, responded to the video and wanted to share it with other people. It seems to have shareability.
Gotye stated, when it hit the first million mark, I was kind of like, okay, something's happening here. Although it seemed he was most satisfied to have finally been played on the radio.
It's the first real hit single I've had in terms of commercial airplay in Australia.
However, the radio stations quickly
Australia.
became insignificant as the song received publicity from a range of famous celebrities. Ashton Kutcher wrote, "This is kind of fantastic, reminds me of early music vids." Lily Allen simply stated, "Love this video," while Katy Perry tweeted, "New music discovery for me, check out Gotye, specifically this song. The lyrics are so true, with Gotye's rapidly developing audience amplifying the same message. I find it absolutely great this song is getting so much recognition. It's gotten more than 7 million views in just 3 months. It went on to break Milestone.
The video alone has more than 65 million hits now on YouTube.
After Milestone,
Its unique video has had almost 300 million hits on YouTube.
after Milestone,
It's got like 860 million views on YouTube or something like that.
making the song bigger than almost any other
860
ever.
The third most liked video of all time on YouTube with 1.4 million likes.
Although despite making a song that was
Wonder
somehow
how many
this
billion
famous,
views
I've
he
read people on
has
Twitter
for
saying they're setting it as their alarm tone.
Gotye made a point to remain extremely humble. 9 months after the song came out, Gotye explained he still drove an old van.
Just last week, your van was stolen. 10 million single sales. What the hell are you doing driving a van?
And when asked about what he'd spent his fortune on, he had no interest in luxury.
What is the last huge thing you bought?
I haven't bought anything physically big. I really hoped it would be a new van.
In a different interview, Gotye was questioned,
What is the best thing that happened last year?
to which he'd respond,
It probably wouldn't be something to do with a marker of the success of my song or my album. More something like a really great swim I took at Summers Beach near where I live.
which might also explain why he refused ads on his music videos, stating, "I'm not interested in selling my music. That's the reason I don't put ads on my YouTube channel," which seems strange to people in today's climate, but that is a decision you can make. I'm like that with all my music. I generally never want to cinch my music for products on ads, meaning Gotye willingly forfeited over $10 million. He'd add that he freely licensed his music to students making films, and would even spend his time mentoring people learning music, which was supported by a Reddit post reading, "I sent Gotye a link of one of my tracks for the hell of it when I was a bit drunk. He actually responded and said he liked it. What a great personable dude," attaching the original email to prove that he'd told the truth. Down in the comments, a different person shared the story. We threw a few emails back and forth, and in my last one I said I'd say hello to him at his upcoming show. Anyway, the tick sold out before I could get one, and when I told Wally, he offered to put me on the door list. I can't say enough nice things about the guy. Gotye also
Guessing
gave a
Wally's
shout out to
Gotye.
over 100 fans who covered the song. However, it'd be through these covers that Gotye first revealed his fame and success had its own list of downsides.
Been a bit burnt out, like seeing another remix, another cover of the song. It's like, and a lot, some are okay, some are quite average, and so I was a bit over it.
With covers such as The Star Wars That I Used to Know gaining over 30 million views, it's no surprise Gotye began to feel like he couldn't control the song.
Hearing a lot of bad remixes and edits on commercial radio around the world, like it's so far out of my hands that maybe, my stage name is being badly represented by all these other people doing really crap interpretations of my song.
With less power over his music, Gotye was no longer as comfortable.
If anything, I have more sort of self-consciousness, or I can sort of see the concerns about like becoming maybe more famous, more being prompted to be more of a personality, being a smaller fish in a bigger pond, if you will.
And when asked on MTV, "Are you comfortable with all the eyes on you?" Gotye responded by stating, "I don't know. I go back and forth, I guess. Maybe anxious at times or overwhelmed by it or not sure how to process it. Maybe I've sort of got used to how to handle it." This made it obvious that becoming famous wasn't the motive, so much that he'd moved to the other side of the world just to avoid being recognised. Gotye relocated from Melbourne to Brooklyn because there's a pleasant thing in New York where nobody really makes a fuss. I wouldn't know if people recognise me, or if they do, they're very cool about it and don't mention it. I felt the difference when I came back to Australia last Christmas. Walking into cafes or restaurants, someone would say something really nice and want to chat. I feel a lot more anonymous here in New York, which is nice, confirming he'd lost the personability he used to enjoy with him.
My bad, I
Here in
just
New
want to
York.
read the full thing. But the other day, someone came up and said they were a big fan and said, "Please have a glass of wine on us," which was lovely. It's nice to just get along and do your thing. After the Gotye touring okay.
Which is nice, confirming he'd lost the personability he used to
Becker, is
enjoy
that
with
his
his
last name?
audience.
When things
Wally
get to
Becker?
a certain scale, when things get sort of maybe too big, it's really hard to keep it personal. It kind of feels more disconnected to me than when, say, I was making tracks in my bedroom.
This seemingly only became worse after winning 3 different Grammys, where during an interview afterwards, he'd reveal another way he was suffering
Prince gave
from
it to him?
success.
That's crazy.
I sometimes felt a bit self-conscious about it being
That's
such a big
crazy.
song, being one that is about people who don't seem to be able to work out their differences, and the fact that people sort of celebrating that seemed somehow incongruous to me for a while.
Gotye feared his song might have been adding to global relationship dissatisfaction.
I feel a bit self-conscious about that because there is an aspect, a lot of the song is quite angsty, and there's a bitterness and a jadedness to it. I'm not sure I really want to spread, that greater sense of angst or dissatisfaction with failed relationships.
Which was in addition to the thought that his song was annoying the world.
The song is really overplayed and probably saturated to the point of absurdity, where I feel like it's out of my hands, but I'm some kind of annoying presence, an audio presence presence in people's lives that they would prefer not to have there.
He noticed that people were saying, "This song is plastered everywhere. I can't go to a mall without hearing it. Whether I like it or hate it, I don't want to hear it anymore."
Obviously, they're so sick of it. They
I
feel
mean,
compelled.
honestly, I was pleased with hearing it every time. You know, it wasn't one of them super annoying songs. You know what I'm saying? That I'm tired of hearing. I can't think of any right now. I could probably think of one. Miley Cyrus, "Flowers." That's an oversaturated one that, like, I am tired of hearing. You know what I'm saying? That's just one example. But if I were to hear this on the radio, I mean, as much as, like, what? When does the song come out? I'll say about, like, 4 years ago. I'll go back as far 4 years ago. Whenever it was playing nonstop, man, I sang it every time. So it wasn't one of them super annoying songs, but I could see how it would be annoying to a lot of people. A great deal of people.
To tell me how sick of it they are.
And as a result, Gotye
Because,
apologized
you know, that song could be like "Flowers" is to me to that person.
for making everyone listen to his song over and over again because of how many times radio stations were playing it. He'd also have to deal with a phony news story claiming that Gotye had died, and with completely unrelated YouTube comments such as "RIP Gotye, now you're somebody that we all used to know." He'd be forced to clarify on Twitter by simply writing "I'm not dead." It seemed his only solution for avoiding the public spotlight was to book an extended American tour. However, his live performances came with a new problem, making his life even harder.
They really do leave after they've heard the hits.
Especially in America, I found.
What have they got?
I've got a rush
Got my money's worth.
Gotye noticed that the rest of his songs weren't quite so popular,
Some people love some songs and hate others, which is just the way it should be, probably.
and perhaps nothing reinforced this more brutally than his 2012 Coachella performance. An article explained that after playing his hit single, Gotye performed the rest of his songs to a noticeably smaller crowd, the reason for which was explained by 2 different people on Reddit. "My friend said when he performed at Coachella the year he blew up over this song, it was the first one he performed and then the crowd just left. Lol, I was there for that and can confirm that I left after hearing that song."
Honestly, if it was me, I honestly would have went 2 songs in before I played that song. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 1 to 2 songs. You know what I'm saying? Not to make the crowd be like, "Play it," you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll play 1 song ahead of it. Maybe 2. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, that would have to be because, like, the first song, they were really effing with it. You know what I'm saying? If the opposite, then, like, after the first song, then I'll play it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, let me just get 1 of my songs in. You know what I'm saying? One of my other songs in. Maybe 2, if, you know what I'm saying, if that one has a great reception.
That's the curse of the one-hit wonder. Gotye seemed unconcerned about this being true.
I mean, people ask me, like, whether I worry about being a one-hit wonder. I'm kind of like, don't really mind if I don't ever really have a big hit like that, because I'll get like, well, I've had that experience. That's what it was like.
However, it was clear that his future music's performance was still heavy on his mind.
That was such a big hit. What's next for you?
Not as big a hit.
The question came up in so many different interviews.
Does the pressure of somebody that I used to know haunt you when you're writing new songs?
Gotye made it seem as though he was about to make new music.
I'm only going to start writing new stuff this year.
However, when asked about whether he can follow up the track with another smash hit, Gotye responded, "I don't know. Time will tell. I don't know whether I can or whether I want to."
Yeah, he clearly said it hella times, like, within the last 3 minutes I was just watching this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, I don't want to make another one. I don't feel like making another one, man. Like, yeah.
It didn't work too well with deadlines.
You're not afraid of waiting. You're patient. You really want to get it right.
But after 2 full years passed with no new music, people began to post, "I wonder what happened to Gotye," while the original music video filled with comments such as, "Gotye, alright guys, see you tomorrow. Last online 8 years ago. My man's dropped the fattest banger in history and dipped. Now he's somebody everyone used to know." However, by this point he'd actually appeared on television, where he was asked the following question.
When's the next album coming out?
I don't know. I'm working on things.
And while he didn't sound too confident, there was a barely known reason for this. Just 2 months beforehand, Gotye released a newsletter containing one important sentence. "There will be no new Gotye music." The newsletter continued, "Maybe there will be. I'm not entirely sure right now," with the main question being whether anyone would hear his future music. Well, people certainly would, only it wouldn't be posted under Gotye's name. Throughout his entire career, he'd been making music with a band called The Basics, which became his main project after ditching his solo career. The Basics bass player Chris Schroeder had clearly grown tired of people asking about Gotye, as he'd state, "When I see people saying where's Wally online, or making the now he's just somebody that we used to know, I just think, don't you idiots know how to use Google? In the time it's taken you to write that stupid tweet, you could have just Googled it and maybe discovered some great music he's been releasing recently on the other end. It's so lazy you're not the first person to do that joke, just shut up." Despite announcing in 2021 that the band had stopped touring, the Basics haven't stopped making music, and there's even been some recent hope for Gotye as a solo artist. In 2020, he was named ARIA's Australian Artist of the Decade, where he'd announced that the follow-up album will be released in the next decade probably, and while his past doesn't exactly indicate that it's coming anytime soon, Gotye's had an outstanding career regardless of his musical future.
So how has this success changed things for you?
When new opportunities come along, they present all sorts of challenges, but they present a chance to learn new things and learn new things about yourself through that process. So,
hey man, I mean, do what you gotta do, bro. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's really forcing you. You know what I'm saying? And I know, like, it can get like that. You feel me? Some musicians just like making music just to like make music. If it blows up, you know what I'm saying? Like, what comes with it, you might not F with it. You feel me? So that's not like, that's why I highly respect this as a music artist myself. You feel me? If that were to happen to me, it's like, I don't know if I would like it or not. I don't know. I really don't know until I go through it. Like he said, it's like, well, now that I've gone through it, you know what I'm saying? Whoop, whoop, you feel me? Like, I'm pretty sure everybody wants to blow up, you know what I'm saying? And once they get there, they can highly enjoy it, or they might just dip. You feel me? Yeah, but hey, y'all let me know your thoughts about down in the comment section down below. You already know it's Boomer and Jer watching Bali Star. Make sure to leave a like just below the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new so that we join up with the bomb squad. You dig? So yeah, man, I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. 100. Yeah.